As we usher in a new beginning to total nonstop action, TNA Wrestling, it all begins once again this weekend as they bring to us their Genesis. And this officially kicks off 2026 year-long madness that is Simply Predicting. Welcome, everybody, to the discussion and the kickoff of the 2026 TNA Predictions League. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here once again to the live moderated conversation of wrestling predictions across all the biggest shows across all things wrestling. WWE fam for WWE, NXT, TNA, ROH, AEW, and this year added on GCW. So thank you all for tuning in and welcome back once again to Simply Predicting. I am, of course, the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of wrestling for a grateful professional wrestling, damn it. My name is Noah Foster. And with me tonight, of course, are regulars that have tuned in before. But for those tuning in for the first time, I have one half of some of the MVPs of predictions, not to mention the VIPs of the Simply Live Studios community. One half of the Dominguez, Emmanuel, and we also have the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams, Mr. GCW, and of course, a great friend, avatar man of his own right that is avoiding falling down certain holes that you find on the street, Charles Schultz. And again, thank you all for tuning in. If you want to predict the conversation, super chat about as simple as that. And of course, the Predictions League forum will be available on my X, on YouTube, in the community tab on the Ed Foster 1916 YouTube channel, and in the comment section down below once this stream concludes across all the feeds you see here on YouTube that represent, of course, this brand and this show. And again, if you haven't already subscribed to Rage of Wrestling, Cassidy Studios, Bag for Wrestling, and then Foster 1916, it's as simple as that. Let's go around the horn and get everybody's thoughts towards TNA Genesis this Saturday. First and foremost, Emmanuel, welcome back. Good to see you. Welcome to the new calendar year. How are you? And how are you feeling about TNA Genesis? And you're muted. We're off to a great start.
Botch.
Botch.
As the first, folks, keep count.
I got to botch on the watch along. Okay, that was a great moment for me.
Once in a millennium, you actually get something over on me. Hold on.
Oh, hell, JJ.
Rarely it happen again. All right, let Emmanuel speak.
Okay. I've been doing good. I mean, like, right now, I'm trying to get a better job with better hours. So please, Oligarch, if you're seeing this, I just came out of an interview. This guy would like to get hired. If you do hire me, I will promote the heck out of you in this channel, too. Mick Foley, thumbs up.
Cheap
approved. Pop. Yeah, cheap pop.
Okay.
But talking about the pay-per-view, it's interesting because the visa issues that TNA is currently having, and most of the Rascals are gone to AEW supposedly. Until we see them on the screen, then we can say it's official, but supposedly.
Seeing is believing, but continue. Yeah. But keep it inside TNA for the time being.
Yeah. So it's going to be intriguing because of the debuts and what we saw tonight. So I'm intrigued what to expect in Genesis for once.
All right. Well, again, we have a beginning. We'll see if we have a happy ending come the end of the year, if not at the end of the show this Saturday. But good to have you back here once again, part of the league as always. By the way, congrats again to last year's league winner, Ashley Reynolds. Again, folks, come be a part of the City Predicting Leagues because even you can find some joy City Predicting in anything professional wrestling. Damn it. Let's go ahead and go get Charles Schultz thoughts initially about TNA Genesis. Charles, welcome back once again to City Predicting 2026 kickoff. TNA kicking things off here. How you feel about the preview this Saturday?
Well, it feels weird not having a world title being defended.
At least not right now.
Probably gets made on in a countdown show. Will not be surprised.
Well, again, I have a deadline when I actually make the forms, and I don't change them afterwards. And of course, in the forms, it's all about who leads with the gold and if the match remains intact with the opponents. If the match for somehow, some way does not have the original opponents predicted at the time of City Predicting, it does not count towards the Predictions League. It is officially eliminated. But fair enough. All right. And as always, you keep it simple, which I always can appreciate. You echo sometimes what I try and live by. Sometimes it's hard to live by what you actually mean, but that's a whole different conversation. And again, everyone's probably social media at this point or freaking TNA exclusive. Because for those that don't know, we are coming off the premiere of the TNA premiere on AMC. And we'll have spoilers throughout the night, so you have been warned, and it will be a ticker at the bottom below. That being said, let's go to regular wrestling JJ Williams and get his thoughts towards TNA Genesis. Of course, he was part of the call and the madness that ensued when it came to my blood pressure reaching an all-time high, and me showing that I could be color analyst as well as play-by-play guy. Walter, get ready for your new job. That being said, JJ, good to see you once again. How you feeling about Genesis?
I'm doing well. I think I'm doing better than you, but that's not hard after what we just saw. I do want to know from Charles if I should say something that could possibly get your blood boiling again, or if I should just keep my mouth shut.
If it's about what I think it is, I kind of brought up somewhat earlier, before we went live. That's why.
Because I don't think it's visa issues, Noah.
Oh, do you?
It's heavily rumored that one Leon Slater is on the European tour with WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using Danny Luna also. But I've heard from multiple people that Leon Slater is on the current European tour, which is why he missed tonight and why he's missing Genesis. And it's also been heavily implied from those certain sources. And again, believe what you want to believe, we know. But it's been heavily implied by those sources that that's part of why they got AJ Styles tonight. Leon Slater was loaned for the tour. You can have AJ Styles for the premiere in return. So, yeah.
We're just going to leave that alone.
That I didn't know. I knew about something else with the Knockouts tag title thing, but I didn't know about that.
Oh, no. See, I heard about that from Aaron Rift of NoDQ.com. Say yeah to NoDQ, but apparently the inspiration's on their way out too. But yeah, that's why Leon isn't there and why he's not appearing on Genesis. And I'm almost willing to bet it's a similar thing with Danny Luna because they're both being touted as visa issues. But yeah.
Ooh, boy.
TNA, the new WWE farm. We soon will own you. All right. Thank you for that, JJ. Now, without further ado, Emmanuel, I do see you have your hand up. What do you want to say real quick?
Yeah, this is not the worst part, Noah. Like I think wrestling is gonna be in the battlefield. We're gonna have like a AEW with the different companies, like with the New Japan and their partnerships with the CW, like I forget the Mexican
CMLL,
and then you see WWE with their Loa and etc. So we gotta have a battlefield, and eventually I think either AEW and WWE is gonna monopolize these wrestling companies, and like and someone has to fold because like AEW is doing the same thing. They're stealing TNA talent, and WWE is stealing TNA talent. And it's kind of sad because like I was hyped for this new year for TNA, and most of the talent are moving away. So I'm like, so it's one of those things like, like it's, I don't know.
Well, say that for Saturday shenanigans. The state of the wrestling business. Are we entering another monopoly where there are two instead of one trying to take over the world in their own unique ways? Stay tuned with Regular Wrestling. JJ Williams moderates that conversation because I don't want to see that. I don't give a fuck if that's happening as long as the talent gets represented correctly and paid properly. But it might kill TNA, at least as I know it, considering it's a small player in the middle ground of the whole thing. But again, conversation for another day unless a $25 super chat comes through. So without further ado, it's TNA
in tribute to an animated duo. Gee, Brian, what are we going to do tonight? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to monopolize the wrestling world. Nerd!
Bloody freaking
We're bust to end the brain. We're bust to end the brain.
Word from our sponsor.
Shut the fuck up, Charles! God dang this freaking industry!
Take the graphic down. Take the graphic down. This comedic segment brought to you by Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That made it better. That made it better. That.
Okay, that being said, after that freaking intermission of utter introduction madness, let's go ahead and try to get fucking right into this shit, because now I'm in a whole different mood than I was before, and it's even worse than it was before. But let's go ahead and get my bathroom break out of the way. Since you brought up food, you can talk about the guy that's probably feeding off cheeses more than the guy from Super Size Me in McDonald's. Let's talk about Flop Dollar versus Rich Swann, a fallout between former friends with the cheapest penthouse in existence. After Rich Swann put Flop Dollar through a table, this guy that invaded Hard to Kill 2 years ago in TNA Wrestling goes one-on-one against his former compadre. One person looking to make money, the other person looking to go bankrupt. Let's not take too long here with this bathroom break match that I pray to God's the opener and move to the countdown. JJ, kick things off. AJ Friends and Rich Swann, who wins this singles match? Why, I wasn't even hyped up tonight, except AJ drinking a fake ass Timu Prime. Wins the Prime if he doesn't post it as Logan Paul.
I got Rich Swann thanks to a returning Casey Navarro.
Okay, then. All right.
I think you got to save some surprises for the pay-per-view. You can't lay everything out on the table on the premiere episode. Casey Navarro is not a big enough name, no disrespect, to generate buzz on the initial episode. So save him for the pay-per-view. Let him have his moment on next week's episode, but I've been following Casey. I think he's just about ready to return. Great opportunity to pull the trigger, in my opinion.
Casey Navarro and Rich Swann could also be a tag team, because Lord knows TNA needs all the tag teams they need, up and down the men and the women, just saying. But all right, fair enough. That being said, the opening bout has been Rich Swann. Now, for those that are tuning in for the first time, this is an open forum where predictions are subject to change. When the forum, of course, will be finalizing your predictions, and your predictions will only count towards at least you fill out the forms and submit them before the deadline. But that being said, because there's only 4 of us, and this is a very weird card and short card, I will open it up to the rest of the panels if they want to add further discussion to this match or have a different prediction. So that being said, let's go around the horn and see what the others think. Emmanuel, I will go with you. It seems pretty cut and dry to me. It feels like the best result we could get, because considering AJ Francis has pretty much screwed and backstabbed any person that's gone along his side towards any championship endeavor, let alone had to deal with this idiot in the penthouse segments on TNA multiple nights. I have to consider this being redemption towards anybody that wants to get the better of this oversized bully. So what do you think?
JJ might have something, because originally he had AJ Francis winning over the Rich Swann, because No, hear me out, because Rich Swann has been getting the better over AJ Francis. And booking-wise, if it's WWE taking control, you would think the person that looks strong will lose their match. So that's why I was going for AJ Francis. So if this is the case, then AJ Francis. But JJ brought a good point. Casey Navarro could appear and help, Rich Swann, and that's a fair shout out. So my pick is still AJ Francis, but JJ might have something, and it might cost me a point, but but I'm just saying, like, he has a fair shot. Like, I admit to that. And I'd rather lose 1 point right now and get it back later. So.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Emmanuel. Thank you.
The catchphrase of Emmanuel for the year 2026, it might cost me a point, while you are in 28th place in the TNA League last year. Good luck, bro. Okay, fair enough.
Because
Hey,
it
at
was
least
my
he was
first
in the top
year.
30.
Yeah, it was my first year. Like I didn't know TNA as much, so I don't know the booking as much. So that's why I was in 28th. So, but this is it's outsider perspective, Noah.
Hey, look, Billboard always focuses on the top 40. At least he qualified for the top 40. I'm just saying.
Fine, I'll give you that. All right, that
Gotta,
being
gotta
said,
find a way to put a positive spin on it.
Charles, flip the coin, heads or tails, flop dollar, Rich Swan. Which side are you going with between JJ and Emmanuel's mindset?
So which Swan winning? That's all.
Oh, wait a second. Breaking news. This match is going to be sponsored by Cheez-It Grooves, now available in ranch flavor.
Really? Really?
Look, Walter's not here, so someone has to do it.
Oh, God. Can we just endorse Rich Smith and move the fuck on and say Rich Swan wins, please, for the love of God? Rich Swan, if Rich Swan doesn't win, then this company's more fucked up than I thought. End of discussion. Jesus Christ almighty. Freaking pay-per-view match with these two. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, let's go ahead and move on from there. I am going to have an aneurysm before the end of the week, and I got to cover this shit Saturday night. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, as I always do, this is, folks, a pay-per-view. You have to pay for it separately, and then you get the TNA Plus annual subscription. The only way to watch this show is to pay, you heard me right, $40 for it on the TNA Plus app. Otherwise, you have to have the annual subscription to the TNA Plus in order to watch this, or you cannot watch it. So spend your money accordingly. Okay, that being said, moving on the countdown. Moving on. Golly, what the fuck else is on this card? Okay, moving on to championship conventions. Maybe this will actually get my mindset in order. You know what I'm saying, man? Because let's go ahead and talk about the Hardys versus the Righteous. Vincent and Dutch for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Of course, the Righteous came into TNA last year, I believe at Final Resolution, and basically targeted the Hardys with intentions on seizing the gold. Two teams that have their own sort of enigma here. As of course we saw, and again, I did warn you folks, you will be receiving spoilers throughout the night on TNA and MNC. And think about the way, City, by the way, giving me that score update. Damn. That being said, we saw the Hardys and Elijah get the better of the Order 4 and 6-man tag team action at the expense of Jada's favorite tag team, the Great Hands. They're great hands for losing, all right. That being said, the Righteous assaulted the Hardys after the match, literally leashing Jeff Hardy's ear, what the fuck, with a padlock to the ring post and wiping out Matt Hardy with Jeff Hardy's own Swanton Bomb, claiming that this Saturday is going to be the worst day for you because we're going to take the tag team championships. So let's go ahead and see if you guys believe that the Righteous are righteous in their claims, or does the Hardys once again twist their opponent's fate? That being said, speaking of snapping and also bringing some grace, teleport again from the command center for City Predicting TNA Edition. It is our own Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger and my fellow TNA faithful NOLA partner, Datilla. Welcome to City Predicting. How are you first and foremost? And why don't you go ahead and open thoughts here for our current match, which is the TNA World Tag Team Championships.
Is this the first one you guys are talking about?
No, the first one was Flop Dollar. And we talked more about Cheez-Its versus Ritz Bits.
The Hardys versus the Righteous. You know what? Like, the Righteous are okay. Dig what I'm saying? They're okay. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm gonna give it to the Righteous because I feel like if not the right, like they still need to build up the Order 4 and the Great Hands. They briefly touched upon it last year. So we gotta get the ball rolling on Order 4 for the Great Hands to beat tag team champions. So for right now, I wouldn't mind the Righteous, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Hardys retain here. So I'd say the Righteous.
Well, at least you're going with a different dynamic. And hell, the Righteous have been going after every other set of tag team championships and coming up butt kiss across the other company. I would actually like to see these two win the damn championships. That's why, dig what I'm saying. I dig what you're saying. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going with the Righteous too. The Hardys have held these titles too damn long, in my opinion, holding down this division and other tag team divisions. If we want to change the outlook of TNA in this new era, you need to have new champions at the forefront. I don't think the Hardys need to be the guys always at the top. It almost reminds me of another two set of people and brothers that used to be on top when it had a tag team division in our company. We're not going there. But you need to offer a different dynamic. So I'm going with the Righteous, Dustin Vincent. I want to finally see them win an accomplishment, for Pete's freaking sake. And them being champions does reset the division, in my opinion, heel or face opposition. Dig what I'm saying?
I'm glad you did what I'm saying.
That's 2 for the Righteous. That being said, let's go right across the board to regular wrestling JJ Williams, who you did talk about the Great Hands. He's been lobbying for Great Hands with Sinner and Saint to become tag team champions.
Hey. I've been saying that for a whole year since last year.
All right, well, there you go. Great minds think alike. There's a reason why we are the Super Liable Studios family. We're also TNA faithful, at least you and I to the most degree. After tonight, though, I got questions that need answers, and I got resolutions that need to happen, starting at Genesis. That being said, JJ, you're on the bubble next. You got the Righteous taking it from the Hardys. You got the Hardys holding on to it still after Genesis.
I like the idea of the Righteous taking the titles. I dig what Vincent and Dutch do. But I said on the commentary that the next tag team champions need to either be the Great Hands or Sinner and Saint. Therefore, I think that the Righteous are just another stepping stone for the Hardys. Sadly, I don't want them to hot potato the titles. And that's what I'm afraid will happen if the Righteous win, is that by sacrifice in March, the Hardys will get them back.
Oh,
just so that they can drop them to the Great Hands or Sinner and Saint. And if that's the plan, may as well just let them hold them for another couple of months. I think, to Datilla's point, we need to build the Great Hands better. But I also feel like that's something that can be accomplished by the time No Surrender comes next month. With the focus that's been on the Order 4 as of late. If the Great Hands get involved into this match and, the Hardys retained via disqualification type of thing, then we go to No Surrender and we potentially can build a triple threat match between the 3 teams, with the Great Hands getting it that way. But I think that's all that we need, is for the Great Hands to get involved in this match with a little bit of violence. And that's how you interject them. You get the momentum back on their side. So the Hardys sadly retain, because that's what we pick, is who's leaving with the belts.
correct.
Right? Win via DQ, lose via DQ, doesn't matter. Hardys are walking out with the belts. And let's not forget, next week, I don't know if you watched it, next week is Feast or Fired. So it's possible the Great Hands could end up in the match, Hotch or Skyler, and get the briefcase for the tag title shot. And that's how they get their opportunity.
Well, more likely it will be tag title, X title, world title. You're fired. So I do see what you're saying, but still.
I wonder who's leaving if someone's getting fired.
Yeah, right. Well, obviously
we were saying on the call that they should have just kept JDC's retirement quiet, let him get the fired briefcase.
Well, hindsight's 2020. But that being said,
copyright.
That's enough of that. That being said, 2 Righteous, 1 Hardys. Let's go down the bomb row and get some thoughts. Charles, who do you dig in what they're saying? Do you got new tag champs, or does JD make a valid point? Let's keep in mind here, folks, the Hardys have held these TNA World Tag Team Championships since winning it back in that crazy ladder match, might I add, against the freaking Nemets and everybody else included. So, again, after they got screwed by the Nemets at Rebellion, they've kind of been on top ever since. I'm just saying. So, Charles, what do you think?
Hold on, before Charles goes, the only reason the Hardys have held the title this long is because the Nemets title reign was cut short. I honestly thought the Nemets should have retained in that ladder match. Yeah, that's what I think.
They didn't need it. It's true.
The only belt Ryan's gonna get.
Again, he's Nick Nemett's brother. The end. The
His
autobiography of Ryan
little
Nemeth.
brother.
Yep. At the end of the day, that will be his one-line autobiography that will define his career.
Hey, he is also a former champion now. He has 2 lines.
Yeah, that'll be book 2.
Ryan Nemeth, former TNA World Tag Team Champion, and Nick Nemeth's little brother. The end.
That's too much to write on a single piece of paper. That's actually worth print.
But
All
it's
right.
historically accurate.
Some history doesn't need to be freaking recorded or recovered. Charles, who you got winning this tag team title match?
Yeah, well, Righteous is winning this. Because isn't this their first some pay-per-view match ever since they came back?
Correct.
Yeah.
They shouldn't lose.
Came back from where? Dutch wasn't in TNA the first go around. It was just Vincent. He came back from the hospital.
I'm about to say, yeah, part of Honor No More before he went beyond Cycle.
Yeah.
Still, point stands. Righteous is winning this.
Fair enough. All right. Emmanuel, let's see what you guys say here. Is JJ the R1 out, or do you dig what we're all saying, or are you actually going to go with JJ Williams?
Dig what we're saying?
Something like that. All right, enough of that.
Anyways, no, I don't. The only reason why I think the Hardys is going to win, because of one thing. Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, God. The way they came in, more oblivious than the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny in AEW, saying Better Business Bureau by JR. How dare you? But nonetheless.
Okay, that's the chant that Aaron was giving to the social media influencers. Who are you? Who are you?
What influence do they have outside of a keyboard?
I wonder why Noah and I weren't invited to this AMC
Hey,
premiere.
like I said, I only recognized one person, and that was Mini Portable.
Again, I don't know anybody because I don't follow social media, thankfully.
Because he doesn't scroll or click. He's a good boy.
And about to say, there's a thing called a power button. There's a thing outside called grass, even if it's underneath snow. You should try it sometime. And not
Although
try
if you want to watch Noah be a bad boy, watch our watch along coverage and listen to all the 4-letter words that he used.
Fuck you.
That is true.
That one came up quite a bit.
A lot.
So with freaking commercial, but we're not going there. You're not going there. We're not going there. No.
Noah, tranquilo.
Fine. See, I'm fine. I'm freaking fine. I've got my thing. I'm fine. All right, and I got my thing of Vincent and freaking Dutch finally win tag team gold in a wrestling company. Dig what I'm saying?
I still think Vincent looks like Rob Zombie, but that's a whole other story.
Hey, you know what? He probably agrees with you, though.
JJ, thank you. I thought I was the only one thinking that all this time.
I've asked Noah a few times, which is the one that looks like Rob Zombie? And he knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I freaking know Rob Zombie because I hear it all the time, damn it, from No DQ. I used to work in a freaking electronics department in the video section, so I know. Music, video,
Never
blah, blah,
gonna
blah.
Stop me. Never
All
gonna
right,
stop me.
not definitely non-copyright. Shoot, freaking Xena got copyright struck by Led Zeppelin, for Pete's sake. You don't need to go down that road. Okay, that being said, it's 3 Righteous, 2 Hardys. Majority hopefully wins. Dig what I'm saying. Let's move on.
Dig what I'm saying?
Stuff. Dig what I'm saying, man? Seriously, though, I could just listen to that all day and you just snap along with it. But
yeah, it's actually a pretty cool song. I dig it.
You know?
It is pretty soothing. I will give it that.
Sounds like the game that you paused and that's the music.
Right?
Exactly.
Pause screen.
Yeah, all of a sudden you just go like,
Hey, literally just throwing on pause it for a good bit.
I mean, he just, stops it dead in its tracks. He used to have the masses snapping along with him, so hopefully he get the masses snapping along with him in TNA wrestling, but only time will tell. That being said, new tag chance for the win, hopefully. Okay, well, moving on from there, speaking of music.
Do you really think we're going to get 2 sets of new tag champs in a couple days, Noah? I mean, we already got the Elegance brand as your new Knockouts tag champions.
I was like, we don't need no one will disappear for a long period of time now, Jade. Come on.
I'm so.
I know why Aaron gave 3 out of 10 for TNA tonight. Because Noah was not Mr. Elegance.
I was about to ask
No,
you.
by elegance. That's why it was a 3 out of 10 show.
That's right.
I was
If,
about to ask
if we
Noah.
had gotten the debut of Noah by Elegance, that would have easily been an 8 out of 10.
That would have been you, JJ, and freaking Walter by yourselves the whole night.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be Mr. Elegance, Noah.
There are so many things I could say right now, and I'm not going to do that for 2 reasons. It's midnight, and I just took my blood pressure medication. I could already feel the tiredness kicking in. So I'm going to move on and try and keep this show rolling for the first time in a long time, but I will.
For the first time in forever.
Non-copyright, and I will say this in closing.
Speaking of medication,
Fucking brown and that freaking oiled up, chipping down wannabe STD ridden runner of the knockout division.
Another round of the night.
Okay, now let's move on.
any further rants will cost a super chat, though, folks. We can't just keep giving this crap to you for free.
All right, JJ, the man in the suit's talking.
I'm wrong.
That being said, everyone shut up. Let's go ahead and move on now to Welcome with Elijah or Trust in Mustafa Ali. Now I'm really at my boiling point with you yahoos. Maybe this will actually cheer me up, even though I can't take a guitar over one of your fucking heads. Elijah goes one on Mustafa Ali because, case in point, Mustafa Ali has assaulted this man every possible concert he's had, including injuring him. The last time we saw Elijah, of course, he literally ran the Order 4 out of town via a horse. Previous to that, we saw Elijah hog-tie Mustafa Ali and ride him out of town the hard way. Talk about a rough ride for a freaking guy that wants to be the next great leader of TNA wrestling. I don't know, he's more trusting than Donald Trump, though. That's a whole different conversation. That being said, it's a one-on-one grudge match for the first time ever. It's actual grudge match. It's not Battle of the Bands. It's not a freaking guitar and a pull match. Otherwise, it'd be Vince Russo booking, bro. But either way, we'll see if you trust in Mustafa Ali or you walk with Elijah this weekend at Genesis. No horse included. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. Emmanuel, I will start with you. Elijah, of course, was on the winning team tonight in that 6-man tag up against the Order 4 before Secret Agent Zero wiped them all out, and that might be the difference maker, of course. Do you see Elijah beating Mustafa Ali, or do you see Ali upsetting Elijah somehow with Order 4 assistance? Because I guarantee you, if he wins, he's not winning by himself.
I don't know. Like TNA has this weird booking decisions, and this is what screws me over. Because on the one hand, Ali needs to win. Let's face fact. He's like Elijah's been gained over Ali multiple times. He dragged him out during his match, chased him in the vignette with their horses. And it's like, and he just got pinned tonight. So right now, I think it's Ali. But if somehow, some way, Elijah wins, I think Ali's out. Because what's the point of him winning at this point? Like, it's like I lose a point because of stupidity. Because Ali needs to win this. But like me as a booker, as a WWE fan, that's what logic tells me. The heel needs to get over Elijah, who's been getting like the better of the heel. So Ali wins.
Logic and wrestling don't belong in the same sentence, but I do agree with at least your prediction that Ali needs to win. And of course, Tatilla, we know that Ali just re-signed with TNA Wrestling. So Emmanuel, he's not going to just freaking grab his briefcase and go home out of the proverbial White House. So that being said, I do agree. In Ali, I trust by this, what's the word I'm looking for? Dishonorable means. I do think he's going to beat Elijah. And this time, it probably won't involve just a guitar over the arm. Maybe a different part. Because I know Ali's pissed off. But yeah, I agree. Ali's going to win. So what do you think?
Well, it's no secret that in TNA, we walk this way.
Not correct.
And everybody knows that, ow, walk with Elijah, but I also trust in Ali. I have to pick Ali for this one. As much as I like Elijah, if we're gonna now that Mike Santana is world champion again, we definitely gotta be building up older four so we can have Ali versus Santana for that world title down the road. So I gotta give it to Ali for this one.
Well, JJ, as we know, last year at Rebellion, it was literally Mustafa Ali versus Mike Santana, of course. And then we had a false count anywhere match where, of course, Mike Santana won. And that was Ali's first descent into madness, depression, and losing confidence before
I got to be there right for that.
I know you were. Before Tasha Steelz, of course, inside brain that she is, who's been a different secret weapon, a master manipulator, of course, not only pushed Alexander to take on Ali, giving back his WrestleMania moment last year's anniversary, but has pushed the Order 4 forward to be a more stronger, cohesive unit. And with the addition of Secret Agent Zero, you would think that this would favor Ali, not just in this match, but maybe finally achieving what he wants to do this year with a very familiar foe. So, based on what Attila said, do you agree with that similar sentiment? Do you also trust Ali winning this?
Well, despite the fact that we had Elias and Ezekiel on the watch long earlier, that was a great moment because
that was ridiculous.
For those that missed it, I had to switch cameras. So for a moment, there were two of me on the screen at the same time.
It was weird. It was super weird. And they were both talking at the same time. It was like twin effect. I was like, what the fuck?
That was the beginning of Noah's downfall.
So twin magic?
Yep, twin magic.
You can look, but you can't touch.
The non-copyright. And this night was beyond technical difficulties in and out of YouTube and AMC. Bite me to think otherwise. Continue, JJ.
But as much as I do walk with Elijah, from the beginning of his TNA run, I have trusted in Ali. I've got Mustafa taking the dub here.
No, we literally got an Order 4 right here, and then Ali we trust. Ain't that crazy? Secret Agent Charles, do you make this unanimous? And do you also trust in Ali, or do you think Elijah gets the win here? By any means.
Sorry, JJ, but I can't just stop walking with Elijah. I've been walking with that man since he should have been NXT all the way to now.
He walks his way.
Stop it.
So I can't go against. I just can't. I'm back on Elijah.
So Charles is Elijah's biggest roadie. Got it. Damn it, Charles.
Hey.
This should have been unanimous.
Sorry, not sorry.
Of course you're not. You played a manual card. All right, moving on. Kaiba.
I think Emmanuel was going to play an Emmanuel card.
Face down in attack mode or defensive?
I'd be into the punch.
Or face up.
What
it's a magic card, but anyways.
The question is, does Attila have her chancla ready?
I do, actually.
Okay, this isn't about the man we can't see anymore. Let's keep it civil. What is it, Emmanuel?
I'm about to say, the only person who's not going to have a good time with this match is Karen Owens. He's going to scream, I tell you, that's Elias.
Damn it. Manuel, consider they were in the crowd during that Saturday night's main event, too. That was even more hilarious.
Say, side note, the fact that they were next to each other at Saturday night's main event just popped me.
That was just like, huh. And probably Kevin Owens is probably thinking to himself, oh, God, not again. Not again. I've been here before.
I bad neck, otherwise I freaking powerbomb this man on the apron.
He probably power drive him on before he does that.
That's probably fair. All right, but then again, Elijah didn't piss him off. Ezekiel did, and again, Ezekiel and Elijah were the same person. Moving on. Shut it, Charles. Moving on. All right, moving on.
Ezekiel was clean shaven.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't you start with me.
It's like Quan Cena and John Cena, like Mr. America and Mr. Hulk Hogan. Like the list goes on.
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it here. I'm gonna lose it. Let's moving on here. By the way, folks, again, face of the Till's early spoiler, as I just mentioned earlier. Indeed, there's a new face of TNA. The king has been slain. Mike Santana is once again the TNA World Champion. This match is no longer happening.
Yeah, I'll take the graphic.
I was going to say, if we're being honest, I think the match will still happen. It's just going to be Frankie getting his rematch.
You don't think Frankie would literally just go right in after it, do you?
Yeah.
I don't think
They've been advertising this match for weeks, even before Santana had the opportunity tonight. I think the match is still going to happen. It'll just be Santana defending against Frankie instead of Frankie defending against Santana.
It's happened before. It's so like this happened to wrestling before, so it would be the first time.
I'll tell you what, I'll just humor it on the forum, but as far as predictions go, if Mike Santana loses the title again to Kazarian, then you literally have lost all value in the TNA World Championship, in my opinion. But I'll humor it.
What if he loses it to Nick Nemeth cashing in?
Should have happened.
Because that's still a point that's lingering out there. Does Nemeth cash in and call a shot?
Well, you thought it was going to happen tonight, and it didn't. So, again, calling a shot after the fact that we run this match back or calling a shot just to challenge him, you're just as good as mine. Either way, if Mike Santana loses the TNA World Championship this damn quick again after how short it was, and he lost the championship the same way before, less than 4 months ago, then you basically have devalued the TNA World Championship, in my opinion. Not like TNA already is questionable underneath my TNA faithful means. Whereas, again, becoming more of a freaking similarity than a damn alternative. But that being said, moving on from there, we'll see what happens. It will stay on the forum for now, but you Scroll Warriors can keep me posted if anything changes. And I'll leave it there until 5 p.m. tomorrow night because TNA, get your shit together and also make this pay-per-view value and matter. That being said, what does matter, though, is the history of Eddie Edwards and JDC as they gather for one final singles match, as JDC will officially be retiring. It's JDC taking on Eddie Edwards one-on-one in its final match ever. We heard a very heartfelt speech tonight on TNA Impact when it comes to JDC's connection going back to Eddie Edwards 25 years ago. Says that TNA was the best part of his career, the best locker room, and of course the system have literally worked TNA since TNA came back to life. However, JDC decided that this is it. Whether you call him Fandango, Dirty Dango, King of Strange, you call him whatever you wish, this is the last time you see him in the ring. You can trust in that. We also know next week, regardless of all this match, he will also be in TNA next week to announce his retirement officially, but also announce the newest member of the system. So is it a downgrade? Is it an upgrade? Is it just staying at the same version? You tell me. Either way, he wants Eddie Edwards to give him absolutely everything. Killer Instinct has to be applied. If not, JDC will apply it firsthand come Saturday night. So does JDC win his retirement? Unlike John Cena, unlike Hiroshi Tanahashi. That Tanahashi Okada match was so fucking good. Or once again, does JDC surprise us in the strangest of ways and be probably the closest person he knows in this business, in this final singles encounter? Let's go around the horn and get y'all's thoughts towards this. And we will start this time with Charles. Charles, your thoughts on this singles grudge match and JDC's final match of his career. Who you got winning?
Stupid Mike, you damn mean on me.
When
I press the mute button.
You do it yourself. Botch.
Well, yeah, that's number one.
That's the second one.
I do expect Eddie Edwards to win this. Now, I will say, though, personally, I still hope we hear Fandango's theme this night. Just saying.
Oh, bloody hell. Get out of your system. Not doing it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it, Noah.
Nope.
You can't resist the rhythm, Noah.
You can't resist it. You can't.
Not doing it. Nope. Not doing it.
Noah.
Come on.
Noah.
We'll be back after this Fandango commercial break with Silly Predicting continues after this.
No, word from our sponsors.
Stop it. Shut up.
For all the people in the chat, he's doing it in the green room, all the graphics up, just so you can't see it.
That's incorrect. Stay tuned for further shenanigans this Saturday, hosted by the Renegade Wrestling. JJ Williams will be moderating the weekly conversation of Wrestling Madness as we return back to Super Fitting in mere seconds. Thank you for tuning in. All right, enough of that. Jesus Christ almighty. All right, getting back on track here. JDC versus Eddie Edwards. Charles took Eddie Edwards winning, and I don't think we're going to see any fandangoing, but hopefully we'll see a pretty good match for professional wrestling, considering this is the same guy that beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Let's forget. Oh, that's right. History wants you to forget about that. And he also did take Josh Alexander to a pretty good bout at one point when he showed how technical he was. So don't underestimate him. That's all I got to say about that. That being said,
Mike Santana, in his match with Mike Santana.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not forget it was a freaking Texas Death match when, again, he was basically used as Moose Kid, called him like the biggest threat. That being said, why don't you go ahead and echo your thoughts on this match? Do you believe that Edwards is going to get the win as well? Does JDC surprise us? And where retirement so far this last calendar year, no one's won the retirement match, it seems.
First off, I have to say, I like the JDC character a lot more than I did the Dirty Dangle character. That's number one.
Yeah,
number two, I'm surprised JDC stayed in the system for as long as he did. I thought Moose was going to give him the boot. I thought he was going to be the Carlito of the group. I still think it was a mistake to not have JDC win the digital media title when the system held all the gold.
Debatable.
But that being said, I think, you know what? I'm going to pick JDC for this one. I think JDC is going to win his retirement match. And then you said he's coming out the following week to save his... Now, if he comes out wearing a pink salmon suit or any type of suit, I'm going to question that speech.
He doesn't wear a mask, so it's not going to be a GCW. Gotcha, bitch. But okay, Datilla, you really had to go there with Mark Henry. Wow.
And AJ Styles, remember?
Oh, I very much remember. All right. Well, everyone watch out for a shade of pink. Salmon, not Bret the Hitman Hart pink. Figure Datilla. That being said, 1-1. It's just one of those things where I do wonder. I've seen, like I said, I already called it the 3 biggest retirement matches this last calendar year. And again, everyone that was going to retire lost. And that's across all the different companies, folks. But it just feels like to me, Eddie Edwards, I don't know. I almost wonder if he is going to break out instead of being tagged alongside, most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. Maybe go after the TNA World Championship himself or go after singles gold. Maybe he wants to try and bring the international championship home. That needs to happen sooner rather than later. But I don't know. I'm of two mindsets here. And I don't think we're going to see, like Johnny Bravo, for example, getting involved here as well, as you talked about his old gimmick. I don't think we're going to see Tyler Breeze either, although that would be interesting.
Or Vladimir Kozlov.
Yeah, I still can't believe that fucking happened. We're not in Las Vegas, to be fair, as well. But I just think, looking at what I believe the system is going to do differently this era of TNA wrestling, he called Eddie Edwards to give the killer shot. Plus, his wife's going to probably be out there. We also know she can be a difference maker. I'm going to go with Eddie Edwards here. I think the trend continues. It's one of those things right now. I feel like retirement wrestlers don't need to win the retirement. Why do you need to win when you've already given everything you could to the business? That's why you're retiring in the first place. Duh. So, in a respectable bout, just like Shuchiko Okada and Tanahashi, I'm going to say that Eddie Edwards gets the better at JDC based on the long-term history. I'm going with Eddie Edwards as well. So 2 Eddies, 1 JDC. Let's go and see what the other side's got to say. Let's go to JJ. JJ, what do you think about this?
I got Eddie Edwards. It's tried and true formula that when you go out on your back looking at the lights. And I don't think it's going to be any different here. I've got Eddie Edwards picking up the dub here. And whether we hear the Fandango music at Genesis or next week on Impact during his retirement speech, I do think we get it one more time. And I think it would be great if we had Summer Rae out there with him too. For one moment. One final moment.
Former dance partner. That would be...
What's the other one?
The other one wasn't a dirty diva. She was actually a ballroom dancer.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Summer Rae, that was just out of left field that happened. It worked out pretty well, at least for her during that gimmick. Anyway, well, there you go.
I've got Eddie Edwards taking this. I think the whole key for this is JDC telling Eddie, don't hesitate if you've got your opportunity, because I'm not gonna.
Yep.
I think Eddie's just gonna go fucking full tilt.
Boston Knee Party.
From murder JDC.
Boston Knee Party.
How many? How many? 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
At least 2.
Yeah.
At least 2.
That's a good point, because again, JDC.
Bonus question. Bonus question. How many Boston Knee parties?
All right, let's not go there. All right, well, we already got one bonus
4.
question. That's overkill. We already got.
I don't think it's going to be more than 3, because third time's the charm is usually a good stereotype. But I think it's going to be 2. He'll hit it, and then he's going to look at JDC. JDC's going to taunt him, and he's going to give him one more and then pin him.
Yeah, I can see that being the finish, and I think that'd be a very poetic finish too, honestly. I like that setup. All right, fair enough. That being said, 3 Eddies, 1 JDC. Emmanuel, let's go ahead and see what you got now. Put your spell on this versus a trap card, because I don't know how weirder you can get than JDC at this point. So
you gonna put a spell on him? I got
JDC or Eddie Edwards.
But now you're mine? What?
Not copyright.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, the retirement streak will continue. The only person to ever win this retirement is the Fortune Sting, and people said it was the greatest retirement match of all time. So
that's a high bar, but it's still wild to say the least that he went undefeated and retired as champion. So I also look at the long term of it. And that was fucking awesome. Continue.
I definitely don't think that's the greatest retirement match of all time, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
How many retirement matches have you seen, JJ? Just saying.
I've seen a couple.
Exactly.
I've seen a couple in my time.
Exactly. So have I.
Yeah, I still consider HBK and Ric Flair as a retirement match. I don't count what happened afterwards. That was he needed to pay alimony and all that bullshit. And that was still a retirement match, damn it.
Well, retirement means you're done. You don't go after more, let alone for a payday. If we're talking about the word as far as vocabulary definition goes, but what do I? That being said, that's a whole different conversation for another day. Man, go continue.
Anyways, but yeah, I have Eddie Edwards winning this. JGC is probably gonna be the one who decides who's going to replace him. The system will not know, but JDC will. And who is going to be none other than that? Tyler Breeze. Why not?
I think he's still under contract with WWE, technically.
But
some type
WWE and TNA are working together, so it would make sense to bring him in.
I mean, again, he's not wrong until this transfer portal is becoming very close to becoming an acquisition. All we're just waiting for is the official announcement.
Look, me and Walter were talking on the pre-show before you joined us. JDC's been looking for his replacement. Somebody's contract with AEW ended yesterday.
Here we go.
Powerhouse Hobbs could very easily be his replacement in the system. Then you can put him and Moose as a tag team.
Why are you trying to put Moose as a tag
and you can let Myers or Edwards go after single stuff.
Moose is too damn good to be a tag team guy. I'm just saying. All right.
But it's about the only thing he hasn't done, really, right?
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair. Grand Slam.
I mean, if he wants to be Grand Slam, he's got to get a tag title somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose. And again, this is definitely not a tag bout. But that being said, before I move on to basically the semi-main that we know of as of right now, unless there's been official updates on TNA's freaking X or website, which I'm pretty sure has not been at this point. We know.
To my count, we've still got 3 matches to discuss.
Well, again, I don't think they're going to run back what you just saw tonight. But if you want to humor it, fine. But before that, let's go ahead and humor not the SRC Championship, because due to or other means or other I guess, opportunities. I'm not going to say priorities or choices. Again, Farm Factory, you tell me. We know that the Estrogen Championship is not being defended at TNA Genesis. Leon Slater is unable to be there. Just going to leave it at that. You all let your own rumor mill take you where you will. But in the meantime, we do have a triple threat as the director of Authority, Santino Marella. By the way, there's a new boss assistant now, and it is the woman in the suit. And I like that dynamic, Daria Ray, who's going to help Santino Marella keep TNA in check with an iron will and a dictatorship attitude. I like that. That being said, when the woman in the suit speaks, everyone else shut the fuck up. I'm going to start using that from now on when the guy in the suit speaks. That being said, we got this unique triple threat. Originally, it was going to be Cedric Alexander versus Leon Slater versus Moose, but instead, it is Cedric Alexander versus Moose versus, yep, they said his name, 250 rounds of pure elevation, answer all lies questions, the most viral sensation let's count a year, NXT superstar. Of course, his name is Joe Hendry, and of course, we
appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Do you believe?
Believe.
Well, I mean, he did.
After tonight's episode of Impact, I don't know how much longer Noah's going to believe in TNA.
That is for certain.
You're not wrong. That being said, Joe Hendry, Cedric Alexander, Moose. It's a straight-up triple threat exhibition. Nothing's on the line, but I imagine Cedric still has his eyes set on going after the Exhibition Championship. And Moose being a former Exhibition Champion, originally this was going to be for the title, and Leon Slater was the guy that beat him for that title course last year. So reverse, becoming the youngest Exhibition Champion ever. Joe Hendry, Digital Media Champion, TNA World Champion.
Longest reigning Digital Media Champion, I may add.
Damn fucking right, and it was incredible. And of course, never been X Division champion. Could be a whole different avenue since he lost on the Iron Survivor Challenge for the NXT Championship opportunity. And he did just overcome Dark State, thank Christ. You want to talk about what really would have fucking pissed me off. Of course, this past Tuesday on NXT, after the Tony D'Angelo guy in a midlife crisis obliterated him and the other guy. I don't know what the fuck's happening in the Black and Chrome either. That brand is so lost. That being said, it's a triple threat, folks. First pinfall submission inside the ring wins. It is pride. It is confidence. It is maybe a future Exhibition challenger. I have no fucking clue what's next after this. Talking about the system and where they go from here, while it looks like Jada's trying to turn Moose to tag team specialist, Cedric Alexander was once really the heart and soul of 205 Live, previously challenged Leon Slater for the X Division title. And I do wonder if Moose wanted to get back that title from Leon Slater after that night. Joe Hendry? Can Joe Hendry come back to TNA, win gold one more time? Do we believe that Joe Hendry can still be that motivation that TNA might actually need versus being somebody that's just in NXT? Let's go around the horn and get y'all's thoughts towards this. Attila, I will start with you. What do you think about this idea now that we got this as a triple threat versus the original idea for the X Division Championship? Do you still believe the winner can go on to challenge the Division title? And if so, who you got winning?
I'm not surprised you started with me on this one for this match.
Absolutely.
It's a couple of things. Number one, I have to say, every time I listen to Creed's Higher, I can't listen to it without thinking, can you please get fired?
I'm about to say, greatest number one hit Joe Hendry ever did. And that's saying something. Continue.
Number two, obviously Joe Hendry's not going to win this because he's no longer, I don't think, there's anything on the line, and he's no longer a TNA contracted talent. But I'd say Moose wins this because I feel like Moose is going to probably get his rematch. Leon would win, and then we get Leon versus Cedric. And the reason why I have Moose winning and Moose pinning Joe Hendry is because didn't Joe Hendry beat Moose? And we got dancing Moose. I'm sure Moose wants to get his revenge.
Yeah. Still one of my favorite matches to this day. I called that freaking .combat match.
With the TNA, with the Sega Genesis spot?
Sega Genesis. The Dreamcast, by the way. Premier system. You definitely botched on that as a Sega person. I'm disappointed in you. Fair enough. And by the way, I don't think Moose ever got his win back over Joe Hendry, honestly. Ever since Santino first came into TNA, going back further, Hard to Kill, when he low-blowed Joe Hendry and absconded with the Digital Media Championship for about 45 seconds. And then Santino restarted the match, and Joe Hendry won it right back. So, good point. But that being said, you got Moose winning.
Yeah. Because I feel like Leon versus Cedric, you could do down the road for the X Division title. I think that Moose should probably get his rematch, and Leon Slater would probably beat him.
All right, fair enough. All right, so we got one for Moose. And of course, Charles, we saw Moose recently go over to NXT to challenge for the NXT North American Championship. Failed. And of course, Moose, again, we thought originally he was the lead of the system. He's not. It's Eddie Edwards. But Moose is the face of the franchise. And at this point, he's kind of done thing in TNA. But maybe he wants to go
wait
back.
a second. When Eddie Edwards become leader of the system, wasn't it always Moose?
No, it was Eddie Edwards, because Eddie Edwards was the one that rebooted the system when it came to their poor momentum and confidence during that summit. It was Eddie Edwards that had the idea for that the whole time.
Oh, it's not the first time Eddie Edwards leads a group, so.
I mean, you're not wrong there, but at least this group actually has honor in itself, and it's honorable to TNA, and it actually seems like it's longer going and homegrown. But that being said, Charles, what do you think about this triple threat? Do you echo the sentiments about Moose, or do you think Cedric wins? Cedric did previously challenge Leon Slater for the X Division Championship. Maybe he can get a second chance. Later.
Oh, my mic was muted. Damn it!
What the fuck, bro?
Oh, it's not also a fun night. You know what? This is a bit more entertaining than deal with those nonsense during the whole TNA show.
You know what? I'll give you that. That's accurate. Continue.
But yeah, now just complete 180. That was gonna be the X-Men title triple threat. And besides, Joe Hendry was announced to appear on the show anyway beforehand, before they decided to make this Joe Hendry into the match now.
Right.
It's like, well, last minute replacement, you have him there. So I expect Joe Hendry to get pinned in it. Well, probably not going to get pinned in this. But I expect Cedric to win this.
Oh.
I just see how it is.
All right. Different dynamics. I like that. Well, JJ, we're all talking about Joe Hendry being pinned. We're also talking about Joe Hendry not winning. But also, guys, it's still, at the end of the day, TNA versus WWE. Which brand you think is going to be protected more? I'm just saying. That being said, also a triple threat. Buffer, Fall Person, Cedric Alexander, Moose are TNA. Joe Hendry is NXT. Just keep that in mind as well with this whole transfer portal, company split, LOL, before acquisition happens. But also, Joe Hendry, again, he's never been X Division champion. Cedric Alexander was the champion of 205 Live. He was a cruiserweight champion. And Moose is the former X Division champion. So it'd be a different accolade. It'd also be another way for NXT to get gold from TNA. But maybe this one's justified if Joe Hendry actually spends more time at TNA, where he had a stronger run versus what he's done so far in NXT, being Dark State's bitch almost. That being said, let's go to JJ, who represents that brand still, and see what he thinks about this. It is NXT superstar being involved in it. JJ, who you got?
You know he's going to be biased during this one. It's his NXT, damn it.
Yeah, of course he is.
It is my NXT, but none of my NXT superstars are in this.
Oh, Joe Hendry's not an NXT superstar?
I don't care if Joe Hendry is in here. I still consider him a TNA guy. He just recently came over. You know, it's like... to me, he's still a TNA guy, even if he's NXT branded now. And he has been dabbling on the main roster. He's kind of just been a utility player. Like, wherever they need him, they throw him. You know? I think the bigger thing to look at here, and maybe it's just my business-mindedness, but again, we touched about it at the outset of the show. Dattila wasn't here for it, so quick Cliff Notes version. Everyone is saying that it's visa issues, but Leon Slater is on the European tour with WWE. If Leon Slater is on WWE's European tour, they've probably got some pretty big plans for the kid. We could be looking at the very least, if not a buyout of the company, a buyout of Leon's contract. They just moved Javon Evans to the main roster. Javon and Leon have been a phenomenal tag team, bouncing back and forth between Impact and NXT. Raw's tag division is horrible right now. So I don't think that Leon becoming an official WWE superstar before WrestleMania is out of the question. If that is going to happen, Leon's going to need to lose the X Division title. I think it's going to go to Cedric. So Cedric's going to get the dub here to have the momentum. Plus, Santino told him in the little promo session that they did that you still got a title opportunity in your pocket. You know, because he's not getting the opportunity this time because of the quote-unquote visa issues. So I think Cedric's going to get the victory here. Challenge Leon, possibly at No Surrender, and probably become champion. And then we may not see Leon in TNA again. It's a sad statement, but again, if WWE has him on their European tour, they obviously see big things for the kid. Let's just call it what it is. Him and Javon are two phenomenal young talents that very easily could be the future of WWE, especially in the tag division,
That might
which
be
again, Raw's tag division is god-awful right now. Javon and Leon versus the Usos at WrestleMania? Sign me the fuck up. I don't know about y'all.
all right.
So Cedric Alexander for the dub so that he can have momentum going into that match.
Oh, if they go that route, then Agent Zero defeats Cedric and wins the X Division title for Order 4.
To be fair, we don't know if Agent Zero can actually do a backflip, but it wouldn't surprise me if he
Wait,
does.
isn't the
It's
X
not
Division
about
about
weight
no
limits,
limits?
it's about no limits. Thank you, Datilla.
Fair enough.
And,
I do get
and
that.
after my comment tonight, I still want to see Special Agent Zero versus Special Agent Oso.
You're crazy. All right. That being said, we got a Cedric, and we got a Moose, no Joe Hendry. And I'm going to say at this point, because it looks like we're dealing with Ali versus Santana in the World Championship picture, considering how long those two histories have been. Ali has been trying to become TNA World Champion now for the last calendar year. And who was the first obstacle to that? Santana. So I think that Moose being the X Division guy once again, it's not too far-fetched. You're trying to set up Agent Zero. I mean, hell, if you can't get the other agent, Agent Zero versus Moose one-on-one, I'm for it. X Division Championship, see what happens there. And I do think Moose is going to be more of a singles player in TNA because he is the face of the franchise versus a tag team guy, even if they bring power forward in the system. That being said, I'm actually going with Moose right here because I think Cedric can become X Division Champion again. But I think being a former X Division champion or TNA World Champion in that same plate would raise Cedric's stock even higher. We saw what it did for Leon Slater. Why can't the same thing happen for Cedric? For now, I'm saying Moose gets the win. So right now, it's 2-2. Let's see if Emmanuel breaks the odds or goes with the odd one out. Emmanuel, you're all that's left. Which person are you picking out of this triple threat?
Well, first of all, shame on all four of you for not believing in Joe Hendry. Shame!
I always believe
For
Joe Hendry.
shame!
I
No,
always
you didn't
believe
pick him. For shame, you didn't pick him. You didn't believe. You say he was going to lose. No, for shame. For you, all four of you. For
All right,
shame.
all
No
right.
one I got on the Joe Henry train before any of y'all were on the Joe Henry train.
Damn fucking right.
I've been
All
on the I've been on the Joe Hood train since his indie days, and
I'm about to say,
in
Emmanuel,
UK.
how about you eat crow and be your own worst hypocrite? You going with Joe Hendry calling us out?
No, I'm going to go for Moose.
All right, then.
All that build up, all of that build up.
I
And
had
then,
to know with Emmanuel that the way he was hyping it up, he was going one of the other guys.
Yeah, he was going
yeah,
one
he was
hand.
gonna bait and switch. Quick, he was baiting us in.
He doesn't have to pick which way he was swerving.
That's why I was picking my manual card.
Side to side.
I said
Anyway.
I put in a manual card for you two guys.
Oh, that's Magic.
I was going to pick.
Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
Anyway,
I don't know
Magic
nothing about
the
Magic the Gathering.
No, I don't know that either. That's a whole different conversation. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Pop Culture Podcast. Attila and Barry for Wrestling. Our Pink and Yellow Raiders, the Sleepy Labo Studios. Anyway, man, continue.
But yeah, like Cedric doesn't really. I get what you guys saying. Cedric needs the momentum for the upcoming title match, but at the same time, if Cedric loses and he wins the title, Moose has a legitimate matchup. Like, hey, I defeated you in this trios match, and you beat me in this match, and that automatically sets up Cedric versus Moose in the future. And if JJ is correct, Leon Slater is gone and he's going to WWE, this will make more sense. So that's why I'm picking Moose for the win.
Fair point. Trying to keep it inside the company with the player that he thinks is going to stay. So that being said, it's Cedric, Moose. Cedric and Moose all around. Very interesting. Well, either
Nobody
way,
here believes in 252 pounds of pure motivation.
don't say the name.
Don't say that.
Don't say that. Don't say that, and don't say his name. All right.
What, Joe Hendry?
Doug.
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
You did that on purpose.
Goddamn right I did.
Fucker.
It's like when they didn't know though. Like,
I know. Can we get a Nola?
I was about to say.
I'm so sad Joya got cut short.
Uya Mara, he starts doing great things in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but yeah, that gimmick was great, and we could always use more triangle, just like you use more cowbell with certain songs. That being said, I could use more proficient professional wrestling, and the company I used to watch for it, and thankfully right now, at least in the singles division, the Knockouts still seem to be at the forefront. But what the fuck? This was not on my radar tonight, because due to issues, Leiling Lee is not, keyword not, defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Danny Luna. Instead, she is a fighting champion, though. This warrior offered an open challenge, and it was not accepted by Jody Fret or Rosemary or someone in-house or Killer Kelly who's already out the door. It was accepted by NXT, but it's a different warrior in its own right. So again, I'm of two mindsets here, but as the guy that's to call this, and the one who respects Delta, who once was in the ring with Jordan Grace for the TNA Knockouts World Championship, I will be respectful and professional under this case. You're only getting it one time. But that being said, folks, it's Leiling Lee versus Zarya for the TNA Knockouts World Championship after Saruka crossed the line again and endorsed Zarya as a warrior to step up for this challenge. So straight up, Leiling Lee, of course, won this title, brought it back home in a triple threat match, thank Christ, overcoming Jesse Jane and Jordan Grace, of course.
The Double J of TNA.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Saruka, we all know Saruka crossed the line previously. She's never challenged for the Knockouts World Championship, but as a former NXT Women's North American Champion, speed towel, whoever that's fucking worth. Sorry, of course, to try to defend the North American Championship one time against the Glamour, Blake Monroe. On behalf of an injured Saruka.
Forever.
Also, fell out of the speed towel. That's probably a blessing in disguise. And of course, we've been seeing rocky ground with Saruka, but it seems like the two have found mutual ground once again, where again, why you're trying to break up a legitimate tag team that actually could be something in the long term versus just, okay, two people from together, let's break it up. We don't need tag teams in WWE, despite the fact we got tag titles for all three brands and barely got divisions across all of them, without just putting all the champions in conglomerations. That being said,
conglomeration, what's the word of the day?
You're talking about a company that has two women's tag teams, and then you want to shit on the Fed?
Well, the Fed has had how many times to be
Got
said
you there.
Okay, let's go ahead and run down some history. You want to go there, partner? You start something, you're going to fucking finish it. Here, the TNA Knockouts have only done it twice. Let's talk about the WWE history, shall we? We had an octagon, then, of course, we had the pentagon, we had the dodecagon, and we had the nonagon, and now we have insert number of sides here as we reset the division 8 times over. The last time they had legitimate tag teams, they had a fake skate prop break up one of those tag teams. They had the tag team champions had a fallout over an MMA dispute. They had, of course, Bayley and Sasha Banks who were top singles champions. And now you have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky as the tag team champions because you're tired of seeing them in the world title picture. While you have other champions, of course, that are just brought together because we have nothing better for them. Yet utility players BFAB and Meacham have a snowball's chance in hell to beat that bitch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Meanwhile, when TNA first started the Knockouts titles with like Sarita, Taylor Wilde, you had the Gay, you had the Inspiration, you had Fire and Flavor, You had, of course, Neil Dashwood and Madison Rain. You
The
had
influence.
Jasmine at one point and Rachel Ellering. You had The Influence. Thank you, Dattila. You had, of course, VXT at one point in Pursuit. And here we are with the TNA Knockouts Championships in their
Michelle
second
Taraj.
ever incarnation since they were first brought in 2008. Why WWE can't figure out the Da Vinci Code of women's tag team wrestling since they first tried it all the way back in 2016. Now try and counter that.
Well, actually, Elisa G didn't make a mixed team, the women's tag team champions.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least WWE didn't let Eric Young be a women's tag champion.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green and Ethan Page were already the mixed tag team champions of
And
AAA.
also,
But
no,
that's
the
a
wo-
mixed tag title. That's not a women's tag title that a man holds one of.
I'm about to say,
exactly.
everyone makes mistakes, but how many mistakes has WWE done versus TNA? Besides the fact TNA has been played by WWE for the last 2 years as of late. This is the worst TNA's looked since Immortal. That being said, let's go ahead and move to the
Okay.
championship picture. Well, at least they won't go bankrupt. They'll just be bought out. Let's go back into the TNA Knockouts World Championship picture. Don't fucking trigger something you can't finish. Anyways, I was about to say earlier, everyone shut the fuck up when the man in the suit's talking.
Wow, Noah, I've never seen the side of you before.
Get used to it. That
You
being-
should be there for the watch alongs. We get this all the time when Noah gets riled.
for all the right
Exactly.
reasons.
We didn't even get a super chat for this one.
That being said, sorry, of course, like I said, the former Delta has not done jack shit in NXT WWE except challenge for, of course, the WWE's Tag Team Championships. And apparently, Ava Rain did announce that Saruka will have a chance in a triple threat match to go after the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships if they win a number one contendership. That will involve Kendall Gray and Wen Sinclair and the fucking Fatal Influence. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. This is Zara's first chance at a World Championship singles gold as we have two different warriors. And more likely, Sarah Brookside will be in Layla Lee's corner. Layla Lee versus Zara for the first time ever for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. If you look at history, we've already seen this title switch between NXT and TNA at least 3 or 4 times in the last calendar year alone. Of course, the last holder of this was Kalani Jordan. So let's see if you
And
believe
who
that
was the
history-
savior of the Knockouts title? Noah, who brought the Knockouts title back to TNA?
The last time that would be Layla Lee back at Gold Rush. All right. Now, that being said, talking about recent history, let's see if history repeats itself because this title is becoming brand potato at this point. Good grief. Let's go ahead and see if y'all believe there's going to be a new TNA Knockouts World Champion in this impromptu match where I still believe Daniel Luna should be the rightful bearer, but that's a whole different conversation for another day. Fuck whatever caused this to happen, but it is what it is. The title ladies first because it's for the Knockouts Championship. Do you see the title going back to NXT in this impromptu situation, or does Layla Lee hold on to it and what is her second defense?
I think she retains. I don't think she's losing that title. I mean, if this was Dani Luna, I would say yeah, she's losing. But I think that Lei Ying retains.
Nice job with the nameplate. All right, fair enough. Layla Lee retains. That's one retainment. Very good. Okay, let's go down to, well, he left his chair. Let's go down to Charles and see if we got his mic in order right here. Charles, do you believe there's going to be a new TNA Knockouts World Champion, or are we just biding time till Daniel Luna incapacitates Layla Lee again and seizes the title for the first time? Because I really think that's on radar to what Daniel Luna did last year against the likes of Indy Hartwell, especially in that dog collar match. Since Daniel Luna went straight rogue and went into business for herself, she's been, in my opinion, the knockout with the most momentum.
True. But I do expect the title to stay with the champ. And also, like how Noah forgot about Ash by Elegance bringing the title back to the TNA.
I don't talk about that for reasons.
He doesn't like
Just-
elegance, friend.
Never have.
I
never
know.
will.
That's why he couldn't. He didn't want to be Noah by elegance.
Yeah. We're still very sad about that.
Well, get over it, because guess what? Not everything you want in life happens for a reason. All right, that being said, two Layla Lees. Emmanuel, what do you think about this match? Layla Lee, of course, who is coming off one defense against Sarah Brookside. Why did they start with that out the gate? I never will fucking know. Who the fuck is working with Carlos Silva and doing this shit? That being said, We know that the Angel Warriors, they probably also have eyes on the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships, and I'm sure that Saruka have their eyes set on also that as well. So that also might come into play because I'm sure outside parties are going to be in respective corners here. But I'd like to think this match is going to stay neutral, respected, in ring, non-chaotic. But I also don't expect the other people in TNA and NXT to stay too far away from this either. But that being said, what do you think about this singles match here? You got the champ retaining?
Yes, I do. But this is the since JJ left, I was gonna tell him something.
I say he might be dealing with something else here, so continue talking. We'll get back to him.
But yeah, what the biggest shame is Zarya. Like when she debuted from NXT, that I was really expecting a lot from her because she did the F5. And I was thinking that, man, they get to book her as the next female Brock Lesnar. No pun intended to her daughter, but that's my thoughts. And then nothing really happened. She's just a sidekick now for Saruka, and we've been waiting for this heel turn to happen, and they still haven't pulled the trigger yet. So it makes me wonder where the direction of Zarya is this point, because she's going to obviously lose again. And she's been losing a lot lately. Like, it's not in like a ha-ha moment. Like, she's losing like if she's a jobber, and she's supposed to be credible as a strong woman. Like, and it's fascinating that not that many people are talking about the downfall of Zarya. How she became a impact player for the woman for the NXT brand to not even be relevant. She's below Thea Hill. She's below. Yeah. That tells you a lot. No, like that's how I feel. The current status of Zarya.
Well, I mean, truth be told, you're not wrong because Thea Hill actually won that fucking title.
Yeah, and
Zarya needs to enroll in JCU.
No one needs to enroll in that. That's why it died.
At this point too, Ken the Great is even more believable than Zarya. A involved woman champion is more dominant and more credible than Zarya.
I really prayed that she would have won the NXT championship. That probably would have maybe actually watched NXT, but of course not. Continue.
You know what I think? I think Zarya just had the misfortune of being on NXT at the same time as Julia and Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, and out of those three, only one of them came out better from it.
I think had she came in after them, I think it would be a completely different story.
Yeah. So there's one of those talks that nobody's really talking about, but I'm talking about mentioning it right now since there's a Zarya match and she's actually in a pay-per-view, so I needed to bring it up. But Ying Lee for the win.
I love how so far no one's butchered this name, so I'm very impressed by all of you. All right, well, that being said, JJ, of course, we know that Lei Ling Lee, of course, we signed to TNA last year. Of course, first Singapore signed TNA Knockout. Really came a long way to winning her first World Championship, of course, at Gold Rush last year, pinning the former champion Montag, Kalani Jordan, of course, in that triple threat with Jordan Grace. But it still feels like to me she's very much unproven. A mutual bout, two mutual bouts when you look at it. A mutual bout for closest friend, and now a mutual bout, I'm sure, with someone that shares a lot of that same warrior mentality, but was unsure of themselves. One from Australia, one from Singapore. And again, you could justify maybe the other half of each team is more recognized and respected than the other, but Lei Ling Lee is the one that holds the gold for the Angel Warriors, while Saruka is the more accomplished of Zaruka. So again, what do you think about this? What do you think the cause effect is going to be knowing Saruka also has a chance to come over contenders for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships on your NXT? And do you think that based on what Emmanuel said, all these losses, are we just one more loss away from typical WWE booking tag team implosion?
I agree with a lot of what my fellow Ranger Datilla said. You know, if this had been Danny Luna, I think we would be getting a title change.
I think everyone would say that.
But it's not.
No.
So we're going to have Lei Ying retain. I almost thought we were going to get the turn on Impact tonight. Because even though it was Zarya's music that came out, like I for a half a second, I thought Soul was going to sign the contract and just steal the opportunity. Be greedy. But she gave her the opportunity.
Yeah, I don't see Zoruga turning heel. I think she's one of the purest baby faces you have left in your NXT's women's division, especially with that win over Bailey, where pretty much everyone thinks right now she's just 1 foot away from going up to the main roster, even though they've already gotten Jordan Grace and Last Legend on SmackDown, and Raw has yet to be determined. But yeah, I think that's a fair analysis. So it's unanimous. We think that Leyland Lee's going to retain, but we also think it's unanimous that Danny Luna is going to be her undoing.
Yeah. And then Indy will be Danny's undoing.
I see what you did. The domino effect. Funny enough, Indy Hartwell's in singles actually against one half of the Elegance brand next week on Impact. So again, I think you're on to, basically what could be the timeline for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Hell, we all thought it was going to be Indy Hartwell's night last year at Bound for Glory, if not prior, and then everything went to shit. So...
And another thing to keep in mind here is what role, if any, will new knockout Elena Black play into this match?
That's true as well, because there's no doubt in my mind, being a former challenger, hell, one of the first NXT challengers, I believe, for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. There's no doubt in my mind she's looking now to get it, now that she's officially signed as a knockout. That's a fair point, JJ. Either way, at least I could say one good thing right now about what the hell is going on in this fucking TNA. The Knockouts Championship has a very unique timeline inside TNA itself going forward for it so far in 2026. Again, there's a reason why I've always held this title in such a high regard across not just the company, but just this business. Don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, TNA. All right, let's go ahead and move on to, again, I don't think it's going to happen. But fuck it. Let's go ahead and humor, and I do mean humor, the rematch of Frank Kazarian versus Mike Santana, where I'm surprised you didn't find a new graphic yet. As, of course, Frank Kazarian is no longer the king of TNA. The king has been slayed. He lost tonight on the premiere of AMC. Took 3 spin the block.
He's still the king of TNA.
A king
Thank
is not
you, Datilla.
a king is not a king without his crown, not even if you get it in a Happy Meal or freaking Burger King box. All right, so stop it. That being said, we now know that Mike Santana is the new TNA World Champion. But we also know that Frank Kazarian, if we do follow the meta of wrestling, usually you have a contractually obligated rematch clause. And right now, the record stands 1-1, despite the fact the first time Kazarian faced him, it was after NXT fucking rejects injured the man after he already was in a fight. Still, again, fuck your NXT. That being said, we also know Nick Nemeth has the call your shot gauntlet. And he said that I'm looking to call my shot regardless what happens here. So I'm going to give you guys this twofold. First and foremost, if this match happens, if this match remains official, do you see Mike Santana losing it to Frankie Kazarian?
Okay, so it says after TNA Impact went off the air, the TNA World Title match for Genesis was made official. Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian and a Texas death match with Nick Nemeth as the special referee.
What the fuck?
I was just about to announce that. Yep.
Well then.
That's a bit crazy out of nowhere. Texas death stipulation.
Texas death match?
Well, they're in Dallas, Texas, so it's not that crazy.
True.
All right.
Kazarian called his shot, took the title from Santana. Santana just took it back from Kazarian. Not that crazy. And Nick Nemeth, as the referee, he could literally call his shot during the match.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen a call your shot official as well. Let's not forget,
So-
Bound for Glory 2024. I was there live. It was literally Joe Hendry versus the Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth, for the TNA World Championship. And who was the special guest referee? The call your shot gauntlet guy, Frankie Kazarian, who did call a shot during that match, before a man we have not seen since Genesis 2025, I believe. Freaking JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, took Kazarian's head up with a damn clothesline from hell. Okay, so now let's add the whole new freaking dynamic. So again, it's still twofold. Do we believe that Frankie Kazarian is going to win back the gold? And regardless of the match here, because we now know the call your shot guy is in the damn fucking match and controls both the destiny of the title and his night, do we see Nick Nemeth cashing in? The cash-in only is registered official if the bell rings, by the way, similar to the briefcase in WWE. So let's go around the horn and see what you all think. JJ, you were about to break the news, so go ahead and break this down because there's a whole different lot of cause and effect, and I know how you feel since I got to make the one good call I got to make during that 2-hour shit show tonight about the King being Slay. Does the King regain his throne for even 15 damn seconds, or is he basically rendered nothing more but a peasant? Now we got a Texas death match with Mike Santana and knowing that Nick Nemeth can call a shot during it, if not after it.
The question isn't who wins. The question is, when does Nick call the shot? Does he call it mid-match or does he call it after the match? Because as much as to piss Noah and Walter and everybody else off, Nick Nemeth is walking out of Dallas, Texas.
I think he's having technical difficulties.
Yeah, but I got the sentence out. So there you go. That's a great freeze frame, by the way. That being said, we'll return to the Mega Wrestling JJ Williams to finish his thoughts if JJ 2.0 shows up like he did during the watch along call earlier tonight. We'll be right back after JJ reboots his device. Stay tuned, folks. Again, this is City Predicting TNA Genesis.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Oh, shut up, Attila!
So like he's beating me to the punch every time.
Here tonight is their own freaking commercial endorsement, just like Emmanuel is with interactive games and movies. Go ahead and follow Emmanuel today on YouTube and on the Instagram and on the X, folks. Follow, play, interact.
What did they follow you, Emmanuel, on X, by the way, too? So
yeah, pretty fun channel. I'm sure me and him will collab some point with games, and of course he offered reviews earlier. Okay, That being said, while we wait for that technical difficulty to be figured out, again, folks, you want to be part of the Predicting, you want to be part of these panels, find me or JJ on the X or on YouTube. Stay tuned for the forum on my YouTube community tab and in the posts down below. And again, you're going to get all the City Predicting this crazy, if not crazier, throughout the year for all the biggest shows across TNA, WWE, NXT, AEW, and ROH, I assure you. And now let's go ahead. About to say thank you, Charles. And now we'll go ahead and return back to the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, to finish his thoughts here. Hello again, JJ. Please continue.
So I don't know where I got caught off, but basically it's not a matter of who wins, but when Nick cashes in, because he is leaving Dallas as your new world champ.
Damn, just leave it at that simple.
Chagrin, much to Walter's chagrin, as much as everybody wants Santana to be champion, as much as I still want Santana to be champion. We have to look at this from a business standpoint. And I know you hate business talk, Noah, but it is what it is. You just had a premiere episode on a brand new network. You crowned a new champion. That's great. Love Santana, deserves it. Not everybody knows who Mike Santana is, though. People know who Dolph Ziggler is. So you want to gain traction, you want to get viewers, you want to build the brand. Nick Nemeth is your champion. Nick Nemeth is going to bring in the old WWE fans. He's going to bring in the casual fans. He's the name right now that is recognized. It may be through whatever's in Mania, Rebellion. It may be until Slammiversary in June. Santana will get another run. He will get a good run. But Nemeth is the one that's going to help build the brand on AMC. Nick Nemeth is going to leave Dallas, Texas as champion.
All
Wouldn't
right.
it be funny if Jay Bale stops Nick Nemeth? Because they are in Texas. That would be-
Sorry, send your hate mail to me at ROWJJ Williams. But it is what it is. If you think about the history of TNA, every time they have made a major move to a network, they have put the title on a recognizable name. Raven lost the title to Jeff Jarrett. And a lot of people know who Raven is. But they put the title on Jeff Jarrett because Jeff Jarrett was a more recognizable name.
Mm.
Sting,
Fair.
Nick Nemeth is that recognizable name. Santana has buzz. Santana is known by diehards, but he doesn't have the name that Dolph Ziggler has.
All right, fine. So bottom line, he's going with Nick Nemeth not only calling his shot, but he's also going with Nick Nemeth leaving with the gold successfully. And with the fact that, again, he's special guest referee, folks, versus just waiting in the wings on commentary backstage, you basically are going to be with twofold here. You got to pick Nick Nemeth to leave with the championship, which might turn into a triple threat if he catches in, or leave it with the championship regardless if he catches successfully. So good luck in answering both of those questions. That being said, he set the bar to cash in. Nick Nemeth leaves as champion. Simple as that. Let's go around the horn and see what the rest of y'all think. We're just going to go right around full clockwise here. So, Emmanuel, you're next. And it sounds like you echo a lot of what JJ was saying when it comes to business and recognition. So, is there anything further you want to add, or did he basically sum up what you were going to say 100%?
First of all, I was going to say, the JJ who took the command center, did someone beat up Zoran back? They took it down of Alpha. Like,
I was the Green Ranger. I came in and destroyed the command.
Ay, ay, ay.
nevertheless, yeah.
He's the evil Green Ranger. He destroyed the attack, the command
So I
center,
think
got rid of
Emmanuel
Zordon
wanna-
and depowered Alpha.
I think Emmanuel want to get on Datilla's good side before Datilla hits him with a chocolate.
Considering all the
The chocolate right there at the ready, and Emmanuel.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to my pick.
yes,
Yeah.
right. Your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think this is my question though, like legit question. So
Excuse me.
if Nick Nemeth is special referee, so he could actually be in the match and still be referee, going 1, 2, 3.
I would not think so, because you go from ref to competitor.
All right, okay, that's my own question, because then I'm thinking about like then man, like that referee has all the control. He could come as fast as he wants, and
Biggest screw job since the finger poke of doom. That would be good grief.
because I was thinking of when Mr. McMahon was the special referee, and Stone Cold used his hand 1, 2, 3, and that's how Max Santana retains the title, and that's Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian and laying down.
I suppose we still has the the stripes. Then I guess that would be considered.
Yeah. So that was my question, but yeah, Nick Nemeth. If that's the future for TNA, he is the most recognizable person out of the whole TNA roster, unfortunately. Everybody still considers Nick Namath's Money in the Bank cash in as the most memorable cash in of all time. Being being Edge, the first cash in, like is that memorable? Everybody talks about it still, and how electric that crowd was, and how WWE fumbled the future of Nick Nemeth with that one match, and it's poetic justice. Like now that it's an AMC, now more people are viewing this. Hopefully, after this one episode, and they have him as champion, and people recognize him, like, oh, that's Dolph Ziggler, and or Nick Nemeth, like for the indie people, for the hardcore fans, you get a audience. Yes, it'll be attractive, and for Max Santana again, having a short title reign again, but at this point, it's like he still has to feud with the NXT roster, unless that's the point that we're going to have. Like Max Santana versus the NXT roster, because they still have that feud going on, because we still have to figure out who's the corporate of who the NXT who brought them over, because we can't believe it was Lexus King, right? Like it has to be somebody
Eric
else
Young?
there.
Hopefully, because you keep talking about the cleanse.
About saying he's never on this show. He was just sulking in the audience, and that's a whole nother aspect we don't know. What the fuck is the cleanse?
Yeah, so it's
DVD 2.0.
But yeah, those are my questions coming in. But I think I have to go with JJ with this one. Max Santana maybe will win the match, and then Nick. That's how Nick cashes in. He's probably tired after that, or he finds a way to see his opportunity both being knocked out, and he cashes in his opportunity, and wins that way.
And fair enough. And again, we'll also see what Daria Ray has to figure about this, as she now oversees TNA operations alongside Santino Marella, who's not in the right mind space. So again, a lot of changes here, a lot of unknowns, a lot of confusion, a lot of what the fuck, a lot of uncertainty for the TNA faithful. And to the other people that don't know what TNA is, but that follow the other company, they probably don't know what to figure this yet, but they might start following it. So again, it's a teeter-totter effect, especially with this. So we'll see how this all works out soon enough. But that being said, you both are in the same mindset, though, pretty much of Nick Nemeth calls his shot during or after. It doesn't matter. If he calls his shot, it's ding ding. If he gets the win, he loses the gold. That's what you all are going with from a business standpoint, if nothing else. So we got two Nick Nemeths. Fair enough. All right, then. Let's go to Charles here. He's next in the bubble. Charles, what do you think about this kerfuffle? I mean, again, like, seriously. He literally just won it. Not even freaking 4 hours ago, if we're being perfectly honest here at the time of this fucking recording.
Boy, oh boy. The one that I will say to the whole, if Nick does were to win the title on this night, at that point, you might as well just never get Mike Santana a damn world title run in this company. It was just going to be a short ass champion one going forward.
Right?
That's number one. And number two, since it's Texas Death, I'm assuming they're going with the full-blown pinfall version? Or is it going to be where it's still going to be a count of 10 at the end of this?
That's a good point, too, because they always confuse that. I remember when Vicky James and Deonna Purrazzo wrestled, it was a 3 count, and then it was the 10 count, unable to answer. When Ethan Carter III and freaking Bully Ray had a Texas Death match, I think theirs was literally just about unable to answer the 10 count. So that's a good point.
That's the other thing to take into consideration on this. So even if Emmanuel saying it would have pulled a Stone Cold finish, it'll be kind of pointless if it's freaking. Why did Mike look like an idiot taking out the ref that he needs to count the 10? I mean, the champ looked like an idiot fool on that one.
Right? This is so fucking kerfuffle. You should have just not done this damn, like, stipulation or this rematch this quick? Like, just why?
The rematch itself is no problem. Issue at hand. It's just the match type of kind of bit okay. And the referee being Nick Memphis, that's fine. That's fine because you can figure out what he could do during the match or after. But this is a confusing mess until we find out more. But as far as who's winning this, Mike Santana's keeping the damn belt.
All right, fair enough.
And if Nick Memphis were to try to cash in, spin the block, Nick doesn't cash in this night. It could happen during another night, not this night.
So Mike Santana preserves his title after taking out both Nick Nemeth and Frank Kazarian and putting them
For a lot longer than a month.
How about longer than freaking 2 days?
Exactly.
All right, fair enough. So that's the first non-Nemeth prediction, and that's for the champion. Well, you guys know how I feel about the TNA World Championship and what it's supposed to represent, what it's supposed to be valued by. And the fact of the matter that we also know we got Feast or Fire this coming Wednesday night where we know someone's going to get another TNA World Championship opportunity against said champion. Imagine one of these two desperate enough to try and go after that. There's a whole nother kerfuffle for you. But seriously, Mike Santana came to TNA to not be a tag team player. He came to be the standard. If you're going to set a standard, let him run with the freaking symbol of it, for fucking sake. Mike Santana wins, whether you get Joe Smo from Kokomo, JBL, some rub from the past, you get Shark Boy in here to defend him or go up against him and go heel. I don't give a fuck. If Mike Santana loses the TNA World Championship again due to dubious circumstances, God forbid your NXT gets involved again, fuck this company because it's not TNA, it's a fucking WWE plant. Let Mike Santana have a fucking chance for once and make me believe that TNA still matters again as being an alternative and giving others a fucking chance. Mike Santana leaves fucking Texas with that fucking championship. And a discussion.
Whoa, Noah, potty mouth. Potty mouth, Noah. You should get
I've had enough of this TNA, WWE, NXT, Timu nonsense for the last damn month.
Should we get you a swear jar? Do you need a swear jar? Put a
You realize, Ash, and I wow, fuck my life. Till you realize that swear jar is going to be goddamn full, freaking full for months and months and months worth of it.
Oh, I'm just gonna pick for this one.
Yeah, you finish this out.
Okay, I'll pick Mike Santana for this one. Because I think maybe Nick might attempt to cash it, but I think something's gonna happen. That's what I think.
All right, fair enough. You don't have any idea what you think's going to happen, or do you have like something you want to happen?
I think maybe somebody might try to stop Nick from cashing in. You know, like I said earlier, imagine it's JBL because they are in Texas, but I don't know. I mean, to JJ and Emmanuel's point, wouldn't surprise me if Nick Nemeth does cash in and, leave as TNA World Champion. But I think that he might try to cash in, but who knows? Somebody might stop him. Maybe a debuting wrestler? I don't know.
That's a good point. It's also a pay-per-view. JJ talking about don't pull all the surprises out early. Someone else could cross the line for the first time. So, fair shout. All right, then. Manuel, I do see your camp. That being said, the bow has been set for 2 Nick Nemeth and 3 Mike Santanas. And as far as Nick Nemeth calling a shot, everyone to the degree thinks he will, but a couple people think he's not even going to get the chance to because he's going to get his head taken off with spin the block. Fair enough. Man, what do you got to say real quick before we finish this crazy thing out?
I just, Katilla just said something and it struck me. JBL. What a concept. Who has been JBL's accomplice since Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, became TNA champion? Who helped him out most of the time?
That would literally be the man that is being called John Texas Ranger, who I saw come out in Detroit and literally deck Frank Kazarian, much to my happiness, at Bound for Glory 2020 freaking far.
Yes. And we still don't know their relationship, why JBL is helping out Nick Nemeth holding the title. We
Yeah, we
never
never got an
got that.
explanation.
I mean, the last time we saw JBL even in TNA was what? Friggin' 2025 post Genesis, I believe, TNA Impact, and then never again.
So it would be poetic if JBL actually helps Nick Nemeth win the title again.
Oh God.
There's a possibility because the Taylor just said it. They're in Texas. JBL could actually help Nick Nemeth out. That's the craziest thing, and it would be so out of left field because no one's talking about it.
I don't even know the last person JBL took the damn head off right now in the business, honestly. So I'm sure he's still walking around the independents, just wiping people out for no real reason. So
I know it's a little far fetched, and especially because it's not El Paso, it's Dallas. But what if Chavo comes to Mike Santana's aid and like Nick Nemeth tries to like cash in, then Chavo stops him? Hey, stranger things have happened.
I mean, this is TNA. This is the place where the strange show up.
Ooh, Chavo.
Don't bring that up. JJ, I do see your hand. What do you guys say, real quick, bruv?
Hasn't JBL been doing commentary for AAA?
Has he?
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, he's been doing this.
Same day as Genesis, so I don't think JBL could be involved.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Again, someone's going to cross the line or cross the border. I don't know what happens first, but something's got to give in Texas when it comes to Santana. Damn it. Santana, Kazarian, and
Rest in
Nemeth
peace.
being the TNA World Championship picture. Something's got to give. That's all I got to say about that. Charles, I did see your hand. What you got to say real quick?
Now who's say EC3 might show up after this match and stop, or during this to stop Nick Nemeth.
What the fuck are we still trying to bring EC3 back into TNA? Seriously.
Hey,
Free agent.
exactly, and he's been in these little vignettes he's been posting. He's been showing a lot more TNA footages, so it's like
I mean,
he's headed back there.
we did just see Dixie Carter tonight, and I didn't think I would see
Yeah,
that.
which that was not surprised how the crowd reacted.
Yeah, you think? Put out the damn building. All right. That being said, someone's got to give, but hopefully it's not Mike Santana being TNA World Champion. Santana, Emmanuel, I see your gears turning. What's going on? It's turning into a long conversation.
Yeah. I was wondering who gets more nuclear heat, Dixie Carter or Vicky Guerrero? They're gonna be they're both in Texas.
Oh God.
I can't even answer that one. I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna.
Conversation was just going to be because you were going to humor us, and you find out that it's a legitimate match. It's a death match, and we have to have a full-on conversation about it.
This is accurate, by the way. What the fuck?
Hey,
All
you
right.
found the graphic.
I tried. Thank you, TNA Wrestling's website. Anyway, yeah, but as far as the man's question goes, look, just don't put the two on the screen at the same time, and we're fine. I don't need my ears to bleed. All right, seriously. Hey. Dogs are freaking barking in the middle of the night. All right, that being said, again, folks, what do you think about the new era TNA so far on AMC? Do you believe Bareface on the come? Is NXT going to take over? Is WWE going to buy it out? Do we get the gold back in NXT, or does it stay in TNA Wrestling? Do visa issues or other obligations prevent champions defending titles or winning them for the foreseeable future? And does Daria Ray take over at TNA on behalf of the Team Morella versus encouraging stronger operations? And so much more to come following TNA Genesis as a new era officially begins and a new beginning is to come for TNA Wrestling as we know it or used to know it. But that's it for TNA Genesis as far as the paper goes. So thank y'all for tuning in. So let's go around and do our plugs. And again, folks, you want to be part of the Predictions League? It's simple. Find the form in the comment section down below. Find it in the comment community tab on my YouTube page. Find it on my X as well. And you too can make your impact this year in the City Predicting League for TNA Wrestling.
And what does the person win? What does the person win?
Pride at the end of the day. What do you think this is? This is about fun, all right? At the end of the day, I do this.
What's the grand prize?
I'll put your name on a leaderboard and maybe send you a gift card. I'm kidding about the last part. I'm a frugal, simple man. All right. That being
A
said,
brand new car.
all right, stop it, Ronnie. Let's go ahead.
That if Noah comes in lower than 10th place, he has to enroll in Chase University, buy a
Yes.
t-shirt, loyalty to my NXT.
Never. Absolutely
Yes.
never.
Yes.
Absolutely never. And I was top 3 last year. You got no chance in hell. Never. That being said, I'll force myself into winning this just by freaking keeping up with highlights.
Isn't that
So you'll rig it?
you're gonna rig this in your favor?
No, I'm going to avoid watching the product that almost gave me an aneurysm tonight and find a way to just keep up with highlights, not scrolling through the X, just to get an idea, because I do believe I still know a thing or two about TNA, despite the fact it's becoming more and more like a WWE feed.
You're gonna walk this in TNA. You walk this way.
I don't know if we're going to walk this way or run away. Stay tuned, Attila. That being said, let's go ahead and get the fuck out of here and give everybody goodbye and good night. Y'all are fucking crazy. I knew Sleepy Disney was not going to get any less crazier this year. It's probably going to get more crazier this year because TNA is becoming a WWE feeder. That being said, thank you all for tuning in so much. Let's get the fuck out of here. Charles, where can the people find you?
Of course, on X, as obvious, on Dog Randall.
Yeah, gotta get you a graphic. TNA Mutant Ninja Turtle, not in a manhole. All right, thank you so much.
Wait, which Ninja Turtles? The 80s Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power, or my personal favorite, Mutant Chain Reaction?
Oh, for the hell, this isn't a TV comment. Go play Cowabunga, Datilla, all right? We'll talk more about that later. Again, stay tuned, folks. Pop the podcast, courtesy of Datilla and Barry for Wrestling, coming soon to a YouTube feed near you. And speaking of YouTube, Emmanuel, go ahead and
crossover.
It was?
Yeah, there was. Shell Shocked and Pop from Power Rangers in space.
Moving on. Emmanuel, talk about your YouTube channel.
Yes, you can subscribe to Interactive Games and Movies. We have a bunch of series going on. If YouTube is not being a pain in the butt, I had to figure out movie night because I did Huckleberry, the Good, the Bad, and Huckleberry Hound. But guess what? YouTube said nope. Not even the audio is.
Wait. You're not gonna watch all of John Cena during your movie nights. Are you gonna watch any of John Cena's movies? I know how much you love John Cena. That's what I was asking.
Tatella!
Well, if I gotta see any John Cena, I gotta see the Fast and the Furious one when John Cena dies. That was the best part of the whole entire movie.
Well, get ready for the chocolate to be thrown. Get ready.
That was the best part of the
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That was the best part of the whole.
Who loved DiCaprio, so I put on Quick and the Dead, where Gene Hackman guns him down in the middle of the street, and I just kept rewinding that part over and over again.
What I wouldn't give right now to take a bazooka to a bullet and blow you all up. Moving on, Emmanuel, finish your plug.
What did I do?
You're not the only one I allow to survive. Continue, Emmanuel.
But to continue to tell, yes, I will see a John Cena movie and criticize it fairly. Because it's not John Cena, the person in WWE. It's John Cena being an actor. Like, his acting career is in my opinion, because I saw The Marine. It was I saw the Transformers Part 2. It was I could continue on, but
please don't.
Yeah, but yeah. If so, I just figured that out. If not, then I have to probably see movie night and Twitch. At least I'll do something for free. But
something for free. You do
yeah,
we'll do something
it's
for
Doyle
free.
now.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Warner Brothers was being rude because it was just audio and me talking over the movie. Go figure, that got copyright all over the world, but that's a different story. But yeah, see my games. Like, if you want to participate tonight at Playing Clue, Tonight is Clue night. If you
I
want to
like Clue.
Clue, yeah, Clue. It's for free. You could download it on your phone, your Android phone, or your Apple phone, whichever you prefer. It's for free, and all you have to do is download Cluedo, and I'll give you the code, and you could join, play along. Have some fun. Tomorrow is going to be the Game of Life 2, and then and so on and so forth. I have a schedule, so.
You ever play Among Us?
Oh
Among
God,
Us?
no!
And
Oh, yes.
I need the people to actually join.
1,
but I
2,
don't mind.
3, 4. You have 4 people right here that can play
Yeah,
Among Us with you.
yeah,
Throwing you all
yeah,
out of the airlock.
Wow,
man.
Noah. Wow.
Yeah.
So those the
Yeah.
imposter then. Got it.
Yeah, Among Us, even like we could play Among Us, like we could play anything that's for free. That's more convenient for everybody. So.
Oh, good grief almighty. All right, well, I'm sure that's to come in collaboration with Super Reliable Gaming. Stay tuned for more on that. Thank you, Emmanuel. And again, folks, you can follow Emmanuel and Arlene, who I'm sure will be involved once again in NXT and WWE. As always, follow Dominguez on the social media. What?
What's your book, Gilbert? My favorite wrestler of all time. Gilbert.
You know what? Maybe I'll do. You know what? Maybe I'll change it up. But you gotta find an opposite to that Arlene can try and combat you with. Gilbert doesn't have any options. Everyone has beaten the shit out of Gilbert. That being said, thank you, Emmanuel. All right, and I know again, I'm not wrong. Thank you as always, Emmanuel. God. Okay, let's go now to the Rank of Wrestling JJ Williams, who will promote that bitch that moves in slow-mo and other stuff that he's sure to do with movie reviews and so much more. Actually, you know what? Because she's back, you get the other graphic. JJ, tell other people can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18 Studios, X ROWJJ Williams, and Casa D18 Studio. No S at the end of studio on the X. That's where you'll find me participating in the spaces and whatnot usually. Also, make sure you follow the Simply Reliable Studios on X at SR Studios 2024. And yeah, got movie review content, music content coming up. Trying to collaborate and potentially do some Power Ranger content with Datilla over the course of this year. But I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that when she does her plugs.
Sounds good.
But yeah, be on the lookout for all that. And if you guys haven't already, Noah kind of touched on some of the other leagues, but make sure you join the GCW Simply Predicting League. We don't do the videos for them every show because a lot of times there's 3 or 4 shows a month. That's too much to try to do. But we will be doing videos, streams like this for some of the bigger shows, like Tournament of Survival, Homecoming, etc. So probably do a video for some of the collective stuff in Vegas as well.
Where it feels like I'm going to be on the call for everything. And shout out to our friend Everett, by the way, who is recently on the shenanigans. If you haven't already, folks, please support Podia Mania, who will be part of the collective, an all women's wrestling show showing the power of women's wrestling. Familiar names across the globe, across the independent scene, and other names you may not know will be part of that show. Guests include, but not limited to, of course, Miranda, Alice, Brittany, Blake, and so many other Shotzi Blackheart and others. You, of course, can follow along Potter Media on the X and Edward also on the X as well. And shout out again to Ed for being a part of the conversation and, of course, allowing us to promote that show and interview him. You go check out Saturday Shenanigans. I will also put a link in the description down below. More on Potter Mania, part of the GCW collective this year in Las Vegas, the WrestleMania week. Thank you, JJ. Well, as always, mighty impactful, as you usually are. Go ahead and tell where the people can find you. I got to get your updated graphic in this brand. But in the meantime, tell where the people can find you when it's wrestling time, Rangers time, or something else in between, pop culture or karaoke-wise.
You don't have my updated graphic?
Not this brand.
Oh, okay. Well, you can follow me at the _. I talk Power Rangers and pro wrestling. Check out my YouTube channel, Rangers of Wrestling. This year I'm gonna aim to do more Power Rangers content. We are celebrating 25 years of Time Force, so I'm gonna try to do a watch along of every episode of Time Force. And during Power Month, for the first time ever, JJ is gonna be watching the pilot of Kuru Sentai Ranger, which, if for those of you that don't know, is the Japanese version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or I should say, what Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is based on.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. Because I've seen the pilot episode, but he's never seen it. So I thought it'd be fun to do something for Kuru Sentai Ranger.
About to say, enjoy Japanese is all I got to say. Because again, we'll see if there's a language barrier with Power Rangers, unlike professional wrestling. Damn it. All right. Fair enough. And Emmanuel, for some reason, went back.
Datilla right about doing moments?
Huh?
Wasn't there also some talk about doing a Tommy and Kimberly moments show? Or
Oh,
something?
yeah. Like, we're also going to do a Tommy and Kimberly, just a retrospect on Tommy and Kimberly, some of our favorite moments, why they're iconic and stuff, and what would have happened if Kimberly stayed on Power Rangers. We all know they broke up, and Tommy married Catherine, but that's a different story.
Fair enough. All right. Well, good stuff. Thank you so much for that. And again, folks, if you want to engage and cause me utter stress here on the freaking moderated conversation rest predictions that is through the predicting, always a pleasure, always a blast. Although sometimes I do wonder, do I have any regrets? Find me if you choose, and Foster916 on the X and on YouTube as always. For these and so much more, they have me call everything, predict everything. Sometimes I moderate almost anything. And again, do you be part of the Predictions League? Find me on the X and on YouTube. And Foster916 is that simple. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Reminding you, as always, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans of opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your fans, no matter how much they annoy you or piss you off. And just do it on
Why are you looking at us like that?
Because you're literally to that point.
What do we do that is so bad to drive you nuts?
Do you really want a family feud?
For Emmanuel, you looked our way. I take issue with that, sir.
Because what did JJ and Dilla do? They're innocent.
What did they not do is the better question. Survey says, find out the answer next time. Steve Harvey's not the host of Family Feud, and I'm the host of City Predicting. That being said, again, folks, it's going to be a wild weekend. We got GCW coverage again. The forum for the GCW League for the double feature this weekend is also out right now on my community tab and on the X. So if you're part of the GCW League, it's event number 2. Get those predictions in. Deadline, of course, is coming up here very soon. And on the same night as well, a bit sooner, if not later, than the GCW one, will be the TNA Jazz's forum. It will be out later on when the sun rises here on the East Coast. And, of course, when you all see Friday on the West Coast. So stay tuned for more on that. And then following this weekend outside the week my conversation is the Saturday Shenanigans. We're doing a retro watch of Collision, Maximum Carnage. Hashtag spoiler free. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday as we move forward through the month and we see what comes ahead next across all things wrestling. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Yes, JJ.
I do just want to add one other thing. Anybody out there that's doing the GCW League or going to participate in the forum, you know, if you keep up with the socials, there are matches that have been announced that aren't on the forum. And that's only because me and Noah had to produce the forum at some point. We couldn't wait for Independent Wrestling 101 to announce matches 48 hours before the show happens and then try to give y'all the time to pick winners on 2 shows because it's technically a double form. It's 2 shows on 1 form.
That is correct.
There may be matches that are missing on that form, and that's just because they were announced after the form was produced and released to the public. So those matches that have been announced after just won't count for the predictions, unfortunately.
But you will see at least 6 matches, I believe 6 matches in total on the forum for each of these shows, 12 matches total. So get your predictions in. Again, I have to keep deadlines in order when I put these forms out based on what matches are announced, and the bulk of them are usually announced around the same time. Anything after that, it's social media as well exclusive. Don't give a fuck. Gotta build the forum. Gotta put it out. Gotta focus on other priorities outside this passion. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, JJ, for that ringing endorsement when it comes to the integrity of these predictions leagues. I hope that you all enjoyed this conversation.
For people.
I've got to say, gotta let the people know. Can't tell them enough times. I can't tell people enough times that the Google Forms have a submit button, and they actually need to push it to submit their predictions. And you also go look at your predictions after the fact because you're emailed a copy of them to edit up to the deadline. So keep that in mind. But again, thank you all for tuning into this first conversation of the year for City Predicting. Hope you enjoyed it. This is the TNA Kickoff. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bells, the videos, loud and and the channels here, the Simple Hour Studios family. Shout out, by the way, to Walter Cruz, the Rage of Wrestling that wasn't here. Give him a subscribe today. Subscribe to Rage of Wrestling. And don't be a dickhead, as always. Subscribe to Barry Simon at Barry for Wrestling. If nothing else, follow her on X and go read her simple notes on Wrestle Kingdom 20. A very nice, simple summary. I really enjoyed taking that in. And stay tuned for more Japanese wrestling coverage, along with so much more other coverage this year, where the content we gave you last year, it's nothing compared to what we're going to do this year, as we bring you even more across all things wrestling, entertainment, combat sports, pop culture, and etc. But until next time, I think I'll leave you all with that and bid you a fine farewell as I thank you for tuning into this initial edition of City Predicting. For Datula, for the American Wrestling J.J. Williams, for Charles Schultz, for Emmanuel Dominguez, for all of you that were involved in the chat, I thank you all as always. Hope you all enjoyed. And until next time, we're predicting, watching, or ranting. Make a pause and pats in life. Have a good night, and thank you for tuning in once again to another rousing edition of Simply Predicting as we buckle up for TNA Genesis.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Just stop it. You freaking...
Believe it, Chase you.
No, do not believe it. All right, we only believe in one thing here, all right? Spirit.
252 pounds of pure motivation.
Joe Hendry.
Simply Predicting was probably
man, he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Bloody hell! We're getting surrounded by idiots. Fucking hell, man. I need to get my zone down.
Noah,
I'm gone.
you know
I
what
see
to
you.
play.
No.
ADC, come on. It's a
No.
Spinal Corral. You need to play.
No.
It's a Spinal Corral.
No.
It's leaving TNA. It's
No.
career standing.
No.
You know what to play. You know
No.
what to do.
No. No. I refuse to. I refuse to. All right, we're gonna snap our way out of here. We're gonna go to bed. We're gonna freaking get some rest because you all throw me up a damn wall. And I've had enough of this shit one night with freaking WWE Temu TNA overruling AMC for 2 fucking hours of my life. That's enough of that shit. All right, I'm hitting the freaking button. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm out of here.
Bye. Adios, everybody.
Yeah, you adios to yourself.
No. Right now, Noah's dancing, so nobody can see him.
No, I'm not!
For super chat, you can see dancing.
Exactly.